Everything just falls into place when you focus on your gambling. People forget that, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Welcome to SLOPSLOCKS MLB Picks edition. It's Monday, and we're all about to get paid. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. More on that in a minute. But first, let's recap yesterday. It sucked. Like I said, we're going to do things just a little bit differently today. Before that, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel. We talk about betting games literally every single day of the week. You like betting games, I like betting games. It just makes sense. Normally, I just give the picks. You've seen the show. The show's awesome, don't get me wrong. But I think it can be better. I think it would be better if I showed you how I found the picks. Give a man fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That's in the Bible, probably. So I'm going to share my screen with you right now. I'm going to go through today's slate. We're going to find a couple bangers, and that's going to be that. Shouldn't take that long. First thing I do every single day after I wake up is I go right to the OddsJam screen. It is the most time-saving thing you can do just because you can see literally every single book that you have. You can see what the lines are for whatever market you're looking for. Obviously, I'm a player strikeout guy, so I have the player strikeout tab open, and then all the books. So FanDuel, Barstool, BetMGM, DraftKings, Caesars, all those. And I also have Pinnacle because I like to know where they're at on everything, even though they're more main market. Like, you want to know what they are for main market. Player props, not so much, because they have limits for player props. And the only reason people play at Pinnacle is because they'll let you bet whatever you want, like however much you want. They don't limit people. So main market's better for them, but still always know what they have for player props. Also, too, I like to have some of the other weaker books like PointsBet or Bet Rivers, just to see where they're at. Again, I can't bet there, but again, it's just you want to know as much as you can possibly know. All right, so if you look here on the left, you're going to see all the pitchers' names, and as you go down, you'll see every game they have. So everybody's listed here, and then what their lines are. So what I like to do is go down and find your 3.5 guys. Okay, 3.5 strikeouts is not a lot. What 3.5 does for you is if the price is low enough, you'll be able to take a guy to only strike out 4 people, which isn't that hard, but there is a reason why these guys are priced at 3.5. They're not really strikeout guys. So there is that too. So there's a give and take there. But again, sometimes you're going to find some in a range that you're comfortable with. I'd say, I don't know, under minus 120 or so is I'm kind of interested. But here's what I'm most interested in. FanDuel allows you to ladder. So what's going to happen is you see a 3.5 guy. If you go to, let's say, 5+ strikeouts, which still not a lot of strikeouts, you're going to get a good plus money price tag. Like sometimes plus 140, sometimes higher, but again, that's what you're looking for first. All right, so what I'm saying about the FanDuel thing is, let's see Kyle Freeland here. He is over 3.5 against Pittsburgh tonight. Looks like that game's in Pittsburgh, but it's minus 122 at FanDuel. That's playable on its own if we determine that we think he can get 5 or 4 strikeouts. But sometimes what you want to do is you want to go to FanDuel and actually look to see what we're looking at here for 5+. Sorry. So what you're going to see for him, 5+ is plus 200. That might be a remarkable deal. That's something we definitely want to look into. So you just make mental notes all the way down the line here. We could take Freeland possibly at 3.5. That's a target, minus 122. Every other book has them in the 130s. DraftKings has 140. Caesar has 143. PointsBet's at minus 158, it looks like, or minus 150. I can't even see it. So that's definitely a target. So FanDuel is where you'd want to play that one if we're going to play it. But again, I'll tell you how we're going to find out if we're going to play it soon. Right now, you're just, again, taking a mental inventory of, the 3.5 guys. Who are they? Who are they playing against? What's their 5+ number? And then we go over to MLB.com and we find out if they might be worth playing. Zach Greinke is another 3.5 guy. He's plus 128 over 3.5. I don't know if you've ever bet a Zach Greinke game before. He doesn't strike a lot of guys out. Sometimes he shows up. Sometimes he's just a tough nut to crack. White Sox have been striking out against righties lately. I do know that off the top of my head. So he could possibly be a target for us. Going down, it doesn't look like we're seeing a lot of 3.5 guys. We had a couple 4.5s, it looks like. Oh, there's another one. Braxton Garrett, who against Arizona. We saw him against the Braves recently. Again, not his fault. They saw him twice in a row. We probably shouldn't even have bet him to begin with, but we got wild and tried it to see what would happen, and we found out what would happen. He did not cover. Arizona, I know off the top of my head, does not strike out a lot, so I'm not sure if we're going to target his 5+. And then the problem with that is it looks like minus 146 for 3.5. Minus 137 at Barstool. So those are high prices. I can't even play at Barstool. So he might be out, but again, we'll check him out. And then this is what I like to see. Jake Irvin. Who has heard of him? Not me. It looks like he pitches for the Nationals. This is what you want. You want to find 3.5s on guys you've never heard of. You know why? Because the books probably don't have the necessary data they need to price this guy correctly. So he might be in play. All right, so the first one we're going to look at, it appears that Kyle Freeland is playing the Pirates. So we're going to go to MLB.com, go to the stats section, and what you're going to do is you're going to find team, and the first thing I do is last 7 days, strikeouts. Sort that just to see, do we got anybody coming? Ooh, the Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates. They have had 190 at-bats, 57 strikeouts. That's called striking out, people. That's a lot of strikeouts, actually, especially for them, because if we look at year-to-date, I don't think they're up near the top. Yeah, they are 20th in strikeouts. They've only got 286 on the season. Wow, that's actually pretty good. But a lot of them have come recently, obvious in the last week. So what you want to find out immediately is there anybody on the injured list or something like that? Or did they play like Nolan Ryan yesterday? So hang on, I'll look at that. I usually look at that on my phone. The Score app is awesome because you can just toggle in and out of stuff. But yeah, O'Neal Cruz, G-Man Choi, those guys have been on the injured list for a little bit. Bay has also been on there too. So who knows? Who knows why this is happening, but it is happening. So now what you want to do is you want to find out Kyle Freeland. He is a lefty. Okay. That's huge. What I always like to do is go to Baseball Almanac. That way you can see game logs, how many pitches these guys have thrown, all that stuff. But when you go to you want to go to game logs this season. Who is this Kyle Freeland guy? He is 6'4", 204. Great size, like a big pitcher like that. He's only got 26 strikeouts in 38 innings. Not great, but again, this is why he's priced at 3.5. All right, if he was striking people out all the time, they wouldn't let us bet that, especially at minus 120 like FanDuel has. So recently, Milwaukee, Arizona. Arizona's not really a strikeout team, but he got 5 Brewers and he got 6 Phillies. He got 1 Pirate, so that's not great. But he only lasted, it looks like it was at home. He only lasted 2 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up 7 earned runs, 9 total. Not a great day for Kyle Freeland that day. Jesus. He got rocked. Also, 5 strikeouts against St. Louis and Washington. Both of those teams don't really strike out. So, honestly, guys, I'm kind of interested in Kyle Freeland, especially at plus 200. I mean, that's 2-1. So now what you want to do is you want to go see the split. What about these Pirates? They've been striking out a lot lately. Do they strike out against left-handers? You see the Phillies. We saw them, and the Brewers. Freeland got both of those 2 teams, so that's not great. Oh, there it is. The Pirates. 335 strikeouts, 78 strikeouts, 335 at-bats. That is not horrible, but that's not great either. What you do is you get a calculator, because I can't figure that out off the top of my head. But 78 strikeouts. So you just divide 78 by 335, and you'll get 23%. That's not total. That's not the best way to do it, though. I do it like that, but I mean, if you really want to get the most accurate number, you would go to the expanded tab here and look at how many plate appearances they had. So 384 plate appearances, and they only struck out 78 times. That is 20%. That is not great for us if we want to bet his over. But again, these guys have been striking out a lot lately, and they weren't striking out at the beginning of the season. Also, this is where odds come in. If it was minus 120, I would not take over 5 strikeouts. But plus, you get plus 200 over 5 strikeouts. So this guy just needs to strike out 5 people. Go look at his game logs. He struck out 5 last game against Milwaukee, 3 the game before that, and 6 the game before that. So he's done this in 2 of his last 3. He has, last time he only threw 62 pitches. What the hell happened there? Why would that have happened? So we definitely need to Google his name now because that's pretty wild. Only 62 pitches because he's, look here, 94, 89, 61. That's obviously because he got rocked against Pittsburgh, which is not great because that's the team we're targeting today. And then 83, 86. I mean, so this guy's throwing pitches in the 80s and 90s. And then last game he only threw 62. So what I always do here, situation like that, is Google this guy's name and with like pitch limit or something like that, just to see if there's like an article. There usually isn't. Usually you gotta go hunting a little deeper. Like, look, some of these articles are like from 2022, so that's definitely a problem. But at the same time, every now and then you'll see like literally a manager. They'll pull a quote from a manager where he's like, his pitch limit is X amount of pitches, and then you'll see maybe why that was happening. I'm throwing him on the strong maybe list for this one. All right, so the next team we're going to look for obviously we have Kyle Freeland in the strong maybe category. You're going to go to Jake Irvin. I guess he pitches for the Nationals. They're playing the Giants, which I know is a strikeout team, so there's a chance that we've got something going here. Let me just type in this guy's name. All right, so his game logs. Okay, 2023. This is it for him. So he has not pitched a lot. It's kind of good that it's not his first start, and it's also really good that his first start was 3 strikeouts. He had to throw 81 pitches. Didn't get a lot of strike swinging. That's really bad. 5% is like, Jesus. Again, we're not going to give up on him because he's a 3.5 guy. He also walked 4 people. So what I normally do in a situation like this, find out who is this guy? College and minors. Go look at his 2023 numbers. Is he a walk guy? Yes. He's 3-3. I mean, that's crazy. All right, so maybe we play this guy in the walk the walk market. But 82 pitches, so that's basically he's going to throw pitches in the 80s probably tonight. He's not going to get a lot of guys swinging. 3.5 feels like it's a right number for him. I mean, he's only getting 6 people there. If you want, you can also, you don't even have to do game logs. You can just do, by the year. But I think guys change year to year, so I like to know, I want to see game logs. I'm a big game log guy. I also hate ads, so I wish I could get this one off the screen. Yeah. All right, so strikeouts per 9, not great. Actually, not that bad. Like when he was in the lower, oh, my bad, that was college. So, yeah, he was whiffing guys in college. But he has 9, 6. I don't know, I'd play this guy. So here's what we do. We go to Giants. Oh, yeah, we forgot. Is he a righty? I think he is a righty. Right-handed and left-handed does kind of matter, so make sure you know that. But all right, so right-handers. Year-to-date strikeouts, the Giants have struck out more than every single team in Major League Baseball. They've also only had 1,125 at-bats, which is good. Like, sometimes you'll see, like, a number way higher than everyone else, and it's like, okay, that's why this is the way it is, but they have less at-bats, so that's a good thing. That means this team strikes out a lot. Oh, versus right-handers. Not great. 765, 226 strikeouts, 765 at bats. That is 29%. Jesus Christ. They are like blindfolded up there. I bet they strike out a lot against lefties too then, because the math doesn't really add up. Yep, they're at the top of the list. Nobody strikes out more than these guys against lefties. So I wish this guy was left-handed, but as we just saw, right-handed, it really doesn't matter. Here's what we'll do. We'll go now to player on the MLB tab, and now we got to sort it by actual Giants. And then what we do is go to expanded and strikeout percentage all the way to the right. Now, these are just the guys that play every day all the time. Conforto, Davis, Yastrzemski, and Wade are all 20. Oh, actually, Thyro is too. Strata. Yeah, they're all 20+%. There's 5 guys that play every day. They're 20+%. But what I like to do is go to select player pool and go to current players. This isn't a fail-safe, though. You're going to see guys that are in the minor leagues like all the time listed here. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. You gotta select their name, and it'll say like Bryce Johnson. Actually, let me find a guy I think is in the minors. I think Matt Beatty's in the minors. So you click on his name, and then down here, it'll say, yeah, so SL. They're playing somewhere else because he's a Sacramento game. So that means he's not even with the team. So he doesn't count for strikeout percentage. And then what I do is I don't like to see the top. I want to see the bottom. Who are the guys that are not going to strike out, and how many of them are there? Looks like Flores, Cal Stevenson, I don't even know if he's on the team, Austin Slater. Like those are the bottom 3. 2 of them are 17, one's 19%, one's 20%. I always round up too. Makes you feel better. So basically everybody in this lineup is 17% or higher against right-handers. So this Irvin guy might be set up to have like kind of a spike game like for him. So if we go to FanDuel, we can find out what the 5 number is. The problem is this guy's 3.5 was like plus 140 or something, so that definitely sucks. But yeah, Irvin, we have an alt line on him, and 5+ is plus 172. I like to just have him hang out here in my pendings. Don't put a price in though to like a wager number, because what's going to happen is you might accidentally bet it. I've done that a million times, and then people see it on Pickett, and then they start to freak out and say, hey, how come you bet this? And it's kind of embarrassing to be like, oh, well, I accidentally bet that. I didn't even mean to. So, yeah, so just don't put a number there. But this way, they're sitting there in your pendings just in case. Right now, I mean, it would be sweet to have 2 bets, both on guys to only get 5+ strikeouts, which, again, 5 is not that much. I mean, that's not a very good game. I mean, guys do that all the time. Plus 200, plus 172. One guy's pitching against a team that strikes out more than anybody. So there is that. Even though he's not really a strikeout guy, he's also only pitched once. So we don't know for a fact that he's going to, totally suck. Like, again, he's only pitched once in the major league. So he's got a great target there. I'm kind of high on Jake Irvin right now, even though I've never heard of him. FanDuel is high on him too, though. Minus 140. They're higher than everybody else. Well, not really that much higher than DraftKings and Caesars and them. But minus 125 at Barstool is kind of interesting. But I got to stick with FanDuel since Barstool won't let me bet more than like $10 per bet. So there is that. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the 4.5 guys. At first look, nothing really stands out. But again, you want to definitely dive deeper than just, one glance in. So we can just take both guys at 5+. That feels right to me. All right, guys, I hope you found that helpful. If you want me to keep doing it like this, throw this in the comments. Just go tell me what you want me to do. If you want to see more like this, I'll do this every day if you want. If you don't like it, you say, hey, Slop, this sucks, I won't do it. You know what I mean? It's all about you here. I'm here for you. So just to recap, the 2 bets I'm going to take tonight, Kyle Freeland, 5+ strikeouts, plus 200, and Jake Irvin, 5+ strikeouts, plus 172. You saw how I found them. We're going to roll with those tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow.